I welcome you all to our first our first conference that we're going to be launching as a series from now till the end of this year, just to focus on the growth, equipment, developments, and empowerment of different people in the tech space. So, today we're actually going to be tackling a very serious topic in the tech space that has to do with leadership and management in your industry, regardless what you do. So please, in the course of this meeting, um, you can always ask your question in the chat box. Everything is going to be attended to by the end of the presentation. And my name is David Adebanwo. I'm going to be the moderator for the meeting, and we're going to be having Mr. Ada Innocent as our main speaker for this meeting. So without further ado, we would love to go straight into what we have in stock for the meeting. So Mr. Ada Innocent is a certified data analyst, trainer, and training development expert with experience in program, curriculum design, and development, as well as professional CV and resume reviewer. He's also a research consultant, a public speaker, and an NLP practitioner. He currently holds a Bachelor of Science in Microbiology and has 8 years of experience in ICT and human capacity training, including youth engagement in research and development. So he founded Awake to Power, a platform dedicated to engineering social change and the mental rectification of social dynamism. He is currently the program manager at TerraSkills Learning System, where he oversees program development and implementation for Matrix Training Institute, Matrix Finishing School, and other career development programs. It is such a privilege to actually have him right here in our midst to open our eyes more into deeper knowledge, deeper understanding, deeper experience in the field that has to do with our leadership and management skills to make our work or everything we do generally in the tech space to perform better and also yield more results. So without any further ado, we'd love to invite we'd love to have Mr. Innocence on the floor. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. David. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to speak with amazing professionals. And I'm glad to be given this opportunity to speak with you this evening. So, leadership is an interesting concept. Whenever I'm asked to speak about leadership, it makes me think deeper. But leadership is an essence. We can have different definitions on how we see what leadership is as a concept, and what leadership is as a practice, or what leadership is as a lifestyle. I will say leadership and excelling in leadership is about the power of belief and human connection. That is what I would say it is. There are various definitions of leadership, the characteristics of a leader, various definitions drafted through the characteristics of leadership, of who a leader must be. A leader must be someone who has vision, charisma, and so on and so forth. But I have looked deep, and my perspective of leadership is the power of belief and human connection. Because however we look at it, a leader must believe in themselves. A leader must also believe in their people, or his or her people must also in turn believe in their leader, and so on. So that power of leadership and human connection is what drives leadership. And I believe that is what leadership is all about. So now I have professionals here from different phases of life, from different parts of the world, but leadership is not something that is peculiar to an industry, or how leadership should be implemented or used is not peculiar to a particular industry. I believe the essence of leadership is results. The essence of leadership is for results. And there is no organization on the surface of the earth today that is not result driven, or at least not created to be result driven. Every organization in the face of the earth today was created to achieve one result or the other, to achieve a purpose, to achieve a goal or set objectives. So now leadership plays that critical role in ensuring that that objective is met. It is that grease that greases the engine of performance. That is what leadership is. And when you see organizations perform, when you see teams perform, when you see organizations achieve their goals, meet their target, exceed their target, or create advancement in their industries, what has just happened was leadership implemented the right way, leadership used the right way. So, in motivating, inspiring, or ensuring that your people achieve the set goals or their set objectives, leadership, however type or whatever the type of leadership is, it is meant to help their people, your people, achieve that set objective. All right. So now I am that person that believes so much so that believes in implementing leadership based on the scene, on the scenario that leadership is to be used. But today we'll be looking at leadership excellence. When all the chips are down, or when you put everything together, when you bring everything, the components of leadership basically together, what aspect of leadership drives excellence? In my belief, I'll say the type of leadership I'll be basically basing on is the servant kind, is the servant leadership. Now, what is leadership excellence? I want to make clear why talking about leadership excellence. I want to make clear that leadership is a choice. It is a choice to look out for others in your team. Leadership is the awesome responsibility to see those around us thrive. So when you take this, what I just said now, into the concept of what leadership excellence will be, or what is expected of leadership excellence, you understand that leadership excellence now is a combination of skills and quality to inspire, to motivate, and to guide. All right. So it's meant to be a wholesome package. Now, I know that some of us here might not be. I want to make a clear distinction on something. Some of you now might be in the position of authority. Some of you might be in position of authority. And so that position of authority naturally will be what people will term leadership, or who a leader is, or you are in a position of leadership. But you have been put in a place of authority, and you have command. You have command over those under you. You have the choice of being a leader or being someone. I won't even call it, I won't call it manager now. You have a choice of being someone that can give orders and their orders implemented, or someone who who your people can trust. Okay, let me put it lightly. You know, just think about a boss in your office that can tell you what to do and you just go ahead and do it. But when it comes to trust, you don't trust. When you come to true followership, there is no followership. But here, yeah, you have ordered me, you've been placed in charge of me, you've ordered me to do something. I will do the thing. Now, that is not leadership. You have the choice now as a leader to either be that person or be this other person that looks at his or her people as the engine that can drive excellence. I will say this, that leadership excellence is not external, is not internal to the leader, but is the result the leader gets by leading or through leading. Okay, now I want to probably, if it was a live engagement, I would have liked to get inputs, but I'll still ask for such inputs, right? You can just send in those inputs. I hope you can hear me. I am sorry, I didn't ask earlier.
Yes, sir. I can hear you from here.
All right. So now I want to ask a question. I would like us to send your answers through the in-message chat. As a leader, do you see your people as a resource or as an asset? I would like to get that response. As a leader, do you see your people as an asset or as a resource? All right. So while that is coming in, while I'm expecting to get your response, yes, I see. It's like Dave said, both resource and an asset. But the resource as an asset. So I'm expecting more. As a leader, do you see yourself, do you see your people as a resource or as an asset? Okay. So now I want to make it clear that leadership has nothing to do. Yes, Andrew, I see you have yours have come in. So leadership has nothing to do with the position. It has nothing to do with your rank. Okay. Now, while I'm saying this now, is that you could go to, okay, Temi, you have your hands raised. So you could go to a conference or, rather an organization and just tell them, ask the staff there, who do you think has possessed the ability of leadership? And you have the people point somewhere. And who do you think does poorly in leadership? If you were to be truthful, if it was to be a non-biased poll, you are going to see people pointing different ways that you don't expect. So leadership has nothing to do with the position you have, has nothing to do with the rank you have. Leadership can come from anywhere. It is a choice. When you look out for the people around you, when you look out for the growth of those around you, you are exhibiting qualities of leadership. And leadership is not expected from just the team leader. Leadership is expected from everyone in the team. Leadership is not restricted. It's not a sacred. Okay, leadership is not a sacred cup from which an appointed drink from only. It's a cup from which anyone can drink from. anyone that has the willingness to be responsible to see others rise is a leader. Okay. Now, to the next. Okay. Now, I want us to have. Okay. Now, I got two response. I don't know why others are not sending in. Do you see your people? Do you see people around you? Do you see yourself as an asset or a resource? Okay, I would like to get more response. Do you see yourself as an asset or a resource? So now, while that is coming in, so let's talk about yes, resource and asset, Okay, so let me talk about this now. So what is expected is that you have the choice to pick if you want to see your people as a resource or you want to see your people as an asset. Now, I'll give a clear distinction here. If you want to see your people as a resource, therefore you are seeing them like a supply. Your view of them is that they are like a supply that need to be managed appropriately or carefully. Okay, you see them as a supply that needs to be managed appropriately or carefully. You store your resources until it's needed and dispose of them when they are no longer of use. Now, the perspective from which I'm coming is that of you growing people, because this is what the mindset is. When you see your people as assets, this is what the mind is, that your high performance have reached their peak and there is nothing more to be achieved. But when you see your people as an asset, okay, therefore you value them. It is something you care for them and you make sure they are performing at their peak. Okay. For instance, an asset is integral to the organizational success, to your organization success. If your people are assets, they are integral to your organization, right? So they require investment and special attention. That is when, rather than when they are not good in a thing, they are not good in a thing and they are let go. So for me, I put forth this, that you should rather see your people as assets. When you see them as assets, you are keen to determine where their value lie. You are interested in finding where they fail and how to replenish them, how to bring them up to speed, how to train. That's where training comes into place, and so on and so forth. All right. David, are you here? Next, please. All right. So there are various benefits to leadership excellence. You talk about achieving organizational growth. Okay. You have most organizations, basically, you find out that most organizations don't have succession planning. That is what I mean, is that growth, basically, not just about promotion, right? Because basically the truth is that not everyone will be able to meet up to grow linearly, but there should be a succession plan. Okay, you have increased organizational performance, because initially from our introduction, I stated that the goal of every organization is profitability, to achieve their goals, to achieve their objectives and get results. Okay. That is it. So, and many more other benefits. Take the next, please. So now leadership is developed. Okay, leadership is developed. Excellent leadership is developed. Leadership excellence, brother, is developed. Just like you develop everything, your ability to crawl, then walk, and so on and so forth. So I want to give out bring out this perspective here, and raise by a show of hand, how many of you go to the gym? Usually, how many of you go to the gym, do exercise? By show of hand, please. Oh wow, nobody goes to gym. Oh yeah, Zahid, yeah, you go to gym. Oh, then all right. So let me use this. How many of you will usually exercise to lose weight? How many? Let me know. How many? Can you hear me, please? All right. So I wanted to use an example that is applicable to you. So leadership is developed, like I said, and when I wanted to use an example of while going to the gym, you want to exercise to gain certain muscles, right? But every day you go to the gym, you come back, or in the gym, you look at yourself in the mirror, you look the same. The second day you do the same thing, you basically look the same. The third day, you basically look the same until one day you realize that, oh, you have these muscles now. You look buffed up now. Or if you are the one that want to exercise to lose weight, you do the first day, the second day you see no results, the third day you see no results, but all of a sudden you find that you're losing the weight or getting the fitness that you want. So leadership is like that. Leadership is developed through patience. So as you are developing your leadership too, I will say this: the best leaders are those that recognize that leadership is a school. You have to learn to grow. There is no expert leadership anywhere. Rather, there is no expert leader anywhere in the world. Nobody can beat their hands on their chest and say they are expert at leadership, because everybody who is a leader or who have that consciousness of wanting to lead is somebody who have submitted themselves to the school of leadership. You continually read books on leadership, continuously attend events, listen to leadership talks, get trained, and so on and so forth. So there is no expert leader. If all of us here were to talk about the stories of our parents, it's like your parents trying to say that they never made a mistake while raising us, while raising you. And you also are going to be parents. Or some of you are parents already. You can't say you don't make mistakes. So therefore, there is no expert leadership, in as much as there is no expert parenting, in as much as there is no expert friend or anybody who is infallible. So now, in cultivating leadership excellence, I've talked about something consciously. So the part of learning, where you continually learn and improve yourself. So now I want to say this, and I know this might people, so many people have said this in some most places, and I get people giving me different perspective. But a leader is not necessarily someone who has all the answers or know everything. To lead with excellence, you have to be honest with yourself about what your weaknesses and strengths are, or what you have as weaknesses and strengths, to effectively mentor, to effectively guide, to effectively inspire and motivate. others, you have to be truthful and sincere to yourself on where you are lacking. That is why it is possible for you to point in directions, point your people to the direction of help. As making you a leader does not necessarily mean that you have all the answers. And I'm someone, I keep saying this. I talk to young leaders. Do not be deceived by the number of years you might have gathered. Do not be deceived by the number of experience or what your experiences might be. The truth is this, that it is possible that you have, let's say, 25 years of experience, but it's still possible for you to learn from someone who has just 1 year experience. So when you shut yourself up and believe that everything, because you have been placed in that position, now what you are doing, you're trying to exercise authority. You are no longer building a connection. Remember, I started by saying, is the leadership for me, or excelling leadership for me? And I have looked at this and I have come to the conclusion that excelling in leadership is the power of belief and human connection. As far as you are leading humans, they have to believe in the purpose and in the vision, and believe in you pursuing that same purpose and vision, as well as you connecting with them and them connecting with you, working hand in hand in achieving that purpose. Okay, so it is important that we are able to tell ourselves the truth, that we don't know everything, and you can get wisdom from the most expected places. When you shut yourself up, then you lack a lot. Then you break that connection. I have seen situations where people tell their leaders, okay, since you know everything, tell us what to do and we move ahead. That is the most dangerous thing a leader can do in that situation. When you come to talk about the concept of leadership and what leadership or the rubrics of leadership, then that has been lost out. Okay, so we'll move along to now, how do you know while leading? What's the place of data? Okay, what's the place of data in ensuring that the proper leadership is being achieved? Okay, it is one thing to say, to hit your hand on your chest and say, I do everything right. I lead right. I inspire right. I motivate the right way. It's one thing to maybe read a book about leadership and come and say, okay, I'm going to implement these. But have you asked yourself the question, who are my people, or who am I? Who are you as a leader, and who are your people? If you view your people as an asset, okay, if you view your people as an asset, then what is the place of collecting feedbacks, and how do you manage feedback? So I'm basically talking about these from a perspective of the data analyst that I am. Collecting feedback is important. After every encounter you have with your asset, your people, you should be able to open yourself to an honest feedback. Well, how did you perceive this? What was our conversations like? Something I say often. I said the quality of a product. Now, when I want to bring in product quality into this now, we are going to basically replace it with what leadership quality will be like. The concept of product quality now. Quality of a product is not a derived measure. It's not a derived measure of the producer or the manufacturer or the developer. It is a derivative of the experience and the perception of the user. So now the quality of leadership is not in any way a derived measure of the leader, but the derivative. What is what is that thing that your assets, what are they gaining or what are they getting from it? What are you exuding? Like I said, remember that leadership now has nothing to do with position that you bear. It has nothing to do with the place, what you have, the office you have been given, or the rank, because it's a choice. It's a choice. Leadership is a choice to lead. There are people who have been given ranks but have failed in leadership, because leadership comes to the point of where you accept that responsibility to guide, to develop, to build, to inspire, and to motivate for the purpose of, for achieving a set purpose or a set vision, to take your people along with you. In leadership, there is no I and there is no you. In leadership, there is we, there is us. There is there's a collection of purpose to drive through the journey. Because when I look at it as an automotive, there are various things. I look at a vehicle as a team. Every part of the vehicle working to achieve, to help you reach a destination. All right. So now the ability to grow as a leader is to help sustain that development in your team, to help them learn. So the impact of training here cannot be taken out, where you have to continuously develop your team. That is where I said, do you view your people as an asset or as a resource? Your people ought to be viewed as an asset, so that continuous development keeps going in, and ensuring that your people are developed appropriately. All right. So the goal, David, can you move the slide, please? The goal of every organization is that they remain productive. The goal of every organization is they remain competitive. So how do you ensure that continuous productivity, that innovation? How do you continue to stay in line with trends? How do you continue to stay awakened to the potential of growth and continuously compete favorably? It's by what? Developing your assets. Your assets have to be up to date. Your asset here, I'm talking about, I'm referring to your people. So your assets have to be up to date. Your assets have to be in line with the trends and the industrial requirements. So how do you achieve this? Is to continuously groom your assets through training, different kinds of training, through elevation. How do you inspire innovation? How do you inspire growth? See, there was something I was saying lightly I was discussing this with my wife, and I said, there is a way you keep telling somebody, I know you can do better. I know you can do better. The person now begins to search in their head. I don't have what it takes to do better. I don't have what it takes to do better. So in your mind, you are motivating, but you are frustrating. In the end, you are frustrating the person, because the person keeps searching. I don't have what it takes. And you say, you can do better. I believe in you. Then it comes to the point whereby you believe in the person, and the person says, I don't even know what this person is believing in. But when you tell the person, these are your weaknesses, these are your strengths, this is how you go, this is how you develop. When you tell that person, while in development, I believe in you and I see your growth, then your asset reminds themselves. It is easy for them to have a measurement, a yardstick, to say, this is where I was and this is where I am going. This is where I am now. So I am heading gradually to where I ought to be. Okay. Remember, I used an example. I say, when you go to the gym, you come back and look at yourself in the mirror. All you can see are sweat and what you feel is pain in your body. But you don't see the transformation going on. The transformation going on, they are going on gradually until you get that result and you see yourself all fit. That is how growth is. So as leaders, emerging leaders in your industry, my my recommendation is that while you also don't see yourself as someone who have reached their peak, while you also develop, make it a point of duty to recognize the development of others. Make it a point of duty to raise others with you. Okay? Then you find out that you have a grouping, a complete growth of purpose where you can raise people along with you, where you raise people along with you to achieve your goal. All right. So thank you very much, and we'll be open for questions at this point. Okay, so we're expecting that you have your questions shared here in the message, or you can, if you are in a place of quiet and calm, you can ask your questions verbally, okay, or contributions rather.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for the amazing presentation. And I guess I'm seeing a notification that our okay. So we just concluded it, and it was I really learned a lot from it. I learned that very something very important, that as an employee or a team member in a particular organization, we are assets, not resources. So, in case we have any question that we wish to ask before we call this meeting a close, please let's all ask our question in the chat box, or you can just simply unmute your mic and ask your question. In case there's anything at all that was discussed during the meeting and you probably were not really, you don't really understand it, or probably you have more contribution, or probably you just need more clarification, you can just simply unmute your mic and let us know about it so that we can tackle it immediately. Because this meeting was actually created for you. Okay, so in the absence of no question, we would love to call the meeting a close. And before we do that, we would love to introduce to you one of the major thing, or what exactly is the purpose of this training, is because we have actually figured out that in the industry there's a lot of lack to a proper knowledge and experience in leadership and management structure of different field or in different industry. So because of that, we started by creating meetings like this, and others are going to come definitely. But it's actually going to be profitable to you only if you actually carried along with everything we're going to be doing. Okay, I got your message, Miss Olaito Falade. So it's only going to be profitable to you if you're actually being carried along with what you are doing. There's a movement that Terra Skills is currently ongoing, and this movement is going to be in a lot greater proportion, especially in the year 2024. So this what we're doing right now is just the introduction, and that's exactly why you're seeing just a few number of people. So we're hoping that till next year, where we're going to be having these conferences every month, we're going to be having a whole large number of community members together with us. So we are just starting this program. Is a series, and we are going to make sure that we're actually going to be impacting and influencing a lot of lives in different areas and different fields. So a link will be sent to the chat box. You can check the link in the chat box. That it link is very simple. And also appear in our community group. So this is our WhatsApp community where we actually discuss, more broadly, or basically connect with each other for different purposes that is relating to our field, career or skills development, or basically anything at all you need help with. Because I remember last time that a lot of people, came to the group asking questions about how they can do this, do that, and we have several professionals that responded to them. So we are building a large community of like minds people who are enthusiasts or tech professionals already in the tech space. So, and we are hoping and we are pleading and we're also encouraging that everyone in the meeting that is not on the group should actually take that step to join the group. So, if you actually registered for this training, this link is also going to be sent to your email or your WhatsApp. But in case you can't even wait for the email to be sent to you, then you can simply just type this. It's very simple, bit.ly TerraSkills community, and you're going to find yourself on the group. So thank you all so much for joining. I can't wait to actually I can't personally wait, and we all can't wait to actually unravel the great things TerraSkills has for every one of us here. We are going to really benefit a lot from this new movement because we are taking a very different dimension other than what you have ever seen people do before. Thank you so much again, Mr. Ada Innocent. And thank you so much, everyone that joined the meeting. You joining the meeting and listening to us is actually a full participation on its own. So we really appreciate you. We appreciate Andrew Liva, Dauda Abdul, Favor. Then we appreciate Mr. Kingsley, Mrs. Olaito, Miss Omoloju, Mr. Benjamin, Said Dave, and Mr. Z Said. Exactly. So thank you all so much, and we'll call the meeting a close now. It's really a great time having with you guys here. So bye, everyone.